Hello, this is Taylor Hartman with my final presentation for 20th century art on Marcel Duchamp. Who is Duchamp? Henri Robert Marcel Duchamp, known better as Marcel Duchamp, is a renowned French artist credited with breaking down the boundaries between works of art and everyday objects. Born in Blainville, France in 1887, Duchamp began his art career in Paris during 1904, painting works such as Portrait of Marcel Lefrançois, demonstrating his possession of style and technique. Duchamp would participate in many of the contemporary trends in painting, post-impressionism, Fauvism, Cubism, as he explored the various movements of the art world, seeking no virtue in making a habit of one style. Marcel, although a gifted painter, lacked faith in the art to produce. Seeking to replace the aesthetic values of the art world, Marcel began approaching his works with an aggressive intellectualism opposed to the common sense world. Through this exploration of art, Marcel would create one of the most important advances in contemporary art, the ready-made. In 1913, Marcel produced his first so-called ready-made bicycle wheel. Comprised of an ordinary bicycle wheel mounted on a painted wooden stool, Marcel described his creation by stating, quote, "In 1913, I had the happy idea to fasten the bicycle wheel to a kitchen stool and watch it turn." End quote. Rather than sculpt or paint, Duchamp instead chose to designate an ordinary object as artwork, challenging artistic norms and opening a dialogue on the nature of art itself. Following this, Duchamp would go on to make 12 more ready-mades over a period of 30-odd years. Duchamp's most notorious ready-made was that of Fountain, produced in 1917 and comprised of simply a porcelain urinal. This work, submitted to the Society of Independent Artists under the pseudonym R. Mutt, would receive extremely mixed reviews. Some would praise the work, calling it stunning and stating it produced a new notion of art. Others, such as independents from the Society, would criticize the piece, calling it indecent and obscure. The impact of the ready-made. Whatever the reaction to Duchamp's ready-made, the object's effects on the art world were undeniable. Duchamp's emphasis on cerebral art rather than retinal art engaged with viewers in a way that was thought-provoking rather than simply satisfying an aesthetic. By choosing to display everyday objects, quote, elevated to the dignity of a work of art, unquote, Duchamp's ready-mades defied the notion that art must be beautiful. These works offered an alternative to the classical aesthetic ideas within the art of the 20th century, becoming the period's most influential development on artists' creative processes. Art after the ready-made. After Duchamp's creation of the ready-made, he would continue to involve himself in cerebral art, creating kinetic works he called roto-reliefs that incorporated motorized movement into his works, later inspiring Alex Calder's mobiles. Duchamp would also begin to involve himself in the music and chess scenes. Between 1912 and 1915, he would work with various musical ideas, developing a number of compositions for his unfinished musical. By 1918, Duchamp had left the art scene, traveling to Buenos Aires, where he took up chess, continuing to play it even after his return to Paris in 1923. From the mid-1930s onwards, Duchamp was no longer considered an active artist, instead consulting with artists, art dealers, and collectors, where he would occasionally participate in exhibitions and installations. That is all that I have today. This is just my source page, including some of the sources that I used, as well as the PowerPoints from class. I hope you enjoyed.